Hello and welcome to the Emmons Island Hunter Trail 2025. As previous years, I'm doing another video to give you all the information you need to survive the Emmons Island Hunter Trail. This year, again, we're going to be a food drive. We're going to be donating the proceeds to the local food shelf. They're in desperate need of those donations this year. We raised our rate to $20 a person, and that's cash only, please. Last year we had some problems with the credit card thing, so we're not going to go down that route this year. So it's going to be cash only, $20 per person, or it's going to be 12 non-perishable goods per person. If you have children, if you're going to the main event after 6:30 and you're coming with children and they're under 5, just let the person know, and she'll just not charge you for those children. As for the child's event or the kids walk or the kids event, which is earlier in the day between 5 and 6 o'clock, that's a free event anyway. So feel free just to bring your kiddos. There's no charge. We will take donations because, again, it's for the food shelf. But for the kids event, we've never asked for donations. It's just a non-scary walk through the woods there. We don't have anybody jumping out at people. Now, for the kids event, the earlier event, you can park on site. So just come down the road. We'll find you a place to park, and you'll be able to park. The general parking for the main event will be closed at 5:30. So if you get here before 5:30, then you'll be able to park in the venue. Outside of that, you'll be required to park outside the venue at our 2 remote parking locations. I also want to stress that if you have handicap accessible needs or you have mobility issues, of course come to the main venue and we'll find you a spot. If you've got a gaggle of kids you're trying to get to the night event and you don't think the bus is going to work for them, we'll also try to get you into the venue. But outside of that, we're asking the general public to park in the 2 remote locations and be bussed over from those locations. We're going to be running 2 buses again. One bus will go from Island Auto Haven, and the other bus will go from the school to our venue. So when you go back to your car, make sure you ask the bus driver what bus it is and where they're going, so you don't end up going to the wrong location. So we're going to look here on the website here. The 2 locations for the remote parking after 5:30 is Island Auto Haven, which is here, and then we got the Grand Isle School. Of course, if you're a volunteer helping me volunteer for the night, we have on-site parking for you. We have an entire volunteer lot here on site. Just show up. As a volunteer, if you have not talked to me beforehand, we're asking you to get here at 5:30. So if you get here at 5:30, we can get your costume, we can get you a spot. All actors, volunteers that are scaring people for the night need to be in their spot by 6:15, because that's when the main gate opens at 6:30. So we need you in your spot by 6:15. Reach out to me through the Facebook, reach out to me through the website. All that information is here for you to reach out to me. So as for Island Auto Haven, I want to stress that Sean, who's the owner of Island Auto Haven, has been so generous with his parking lot the last few years. And his generosity tipped the scales this year, because last year we had some damage to his property. There were some activities that happened on his property that caused damage that was it was not acceptable. And I did not think Sean was going to allow us to use his lot again, and I would have totally understand if that was his choice. But he was generous this year to allow us to use his lot, with the understanding that people need to be respectful there. So that's why I put this map together. If you're choosing to park over at Island Auto Haven, you have to follow this map. Where you see cars is where cars get parked. Where you see X's, the red X's, do not park there, and do not go ripping through his field. There was somebody that just did donuts in this area. There's a person that just ripped through the field in the back end last year, causing all sorts of landscaping damage. Now, if you park here, you're going to enter through the Route 2 cut. You're going to park your car and you're going to leave through the US Route 2 cut. Don't go bouncing through the field over to the neighbor's driveway to try to get out there because you don't want to wait in line to get out of the parking lot. Please be respectful for this location. Be respectful for all our locations. But this one is really concerning, that some of the disrespect that happened onto his property last year almost caused to the point where I did not want to proceed in doing the Emmons Island Haunted Trail anymore. So please be respectful. We're going to have parking attendants at both locations, the school and Auto Haven. They're going to give you directions. Please follow those directions. The school last year went off perfect, smoothly. Most people respected the school. No trash was left. There were no damage to anything. People understood how the school parking went, and they understood to be respectful of that area. Our parking attendants said that area went very smoothly last year. So hopefully, again, this year that goes smoothly. Now, throughout the night, we get really busy between 6:30 and 8:30. So the reason for that is people are trying to bring their kiddos through the night event with their parents. And because there's a bunch of kids, that they're bringing between that time, the parking lots get full quick. So if you're an adult and you can wait till after 8:30, please come then. Because the parking will be available. I mean, even later in the night, if you come by 9 o'clock, the parking will be available to you, because mostly what people are trying to do is get their kids through before bedtime. And it's just, we get overwhelmed with parents and kids, which is a good thing because it's supposed to be a family-friendly event. It's just that if you're an adult that can manage your time without a bedtime, then try to hit us at a later hour and show up later in the night. With the family-friendly thoughts in our head, we need to point out that last year the smoking and the alcohol got a little out of control. So we need to button that down. We're asking the general public, please do not smoke and please do not drink while you're in the venue. So if you want to have a little pop before you come, that's fine. Just don't bring it with you. If you want to do all the smoking you want to smoke, just don't do it in line. Now, if you're a cigarette smoker and you got to have that cigarette, you can smoke over by the drive. When you first get off the bus in the venue, you'll see two portalets, the driveway. Just stand over to the side and have your cigarette. As for the other smokable items, even though they're legal, they're not welcome at our venue this year. We cannot have that. This is supposed to be family friendly. We can't have drinking and smoking while you're standing in line next to the little kids. That is going to be a non-starter for us this year. I've got security on premises this year. They will ask you to leave. And I don't want to be the ogre of the haunted trail, but we've got to put our foot down somewhere when it comes to respecting families with small children being introduced to adult activities, being intoxicated in other ways, and not behaving yourself correctly. And the swearing, I would ask that if you can, try to keep your swearing down to a minimum. I mean, that got a little out of hand last year too. I mean, we did it. Last year was a very frustrating year for us here at the Haunted Trail, to a point where we thought we were going to need to no longer do it, because the amount of people want to have a good time. I get that. I'm not trying to, say people should not try to have a good time, but there's a level of good time and there's a crazy level of good time. And we were up here and you just can't do that around little kids. And I'm just hoping that you as adults out there understand that. So we're going to also have the line in a different location this year. So when you come to get your tickets at the venue, when you get off the bus, you'll get the tickets at the regular location, or drop your food off at the food shelf location. They're going to give you a ticket. Just walk up the road to the park that I've got up there. I've got a bike park that if you're familiar with the islands, it's a bike park during the summer. Walk up there. What we're going to do is have people line up down Route 2. I've got this area, this gap in between the road in my tree line, and we're just going to have people line up there. This way, as people are coming off the trail, there's not a line of people, a gaggle of people standing in the way to get them safely off the trail. So you will not be, packed sardine deep on my front lawn anymore. We've managed the line better. With that said about the line, we're going to try to do groups of 5 to 8. So if you're coming as a couple, be aware that we're going to have to slide other people into your group. Now, John, who's done my attendant for years, was trying to accommodate couples last year. So you got two people walking the trail, and for the experience to work, you got to have them 3 minutes apart. That really causes a line to stack up when you're sending small groups, forward. So with that said, 5 to 8 people is what the expectation is. This way we can get people into the event and not have that line just drag on for an hour. Like last year, it was almost like an hour and 20 minutes, for people to even get to the front of the line. So we're going to try to manage that better. We're working on it on our end to manage the flow of people. Our event is very popular. So, that's something on us that we're going to try to manage better, so that people can get onto the trail and get the experience they're looking for. Now, when I say 5 to 8, that's the sweet spot. Now, if you show up with, show up with 15 people and you all want to go together, that's okay. It's just that you're not going to get the experience that everyone else is getting. Because you're going to have people in the front of your group getting scared and people in the back of the group are going to be like rubbernecking, like, what's going on up there. So I think for the best experience on the trail, the group should be between 5 and 8. All right, I think I covered most of what you need to know. If you're volunteering, I want to be stressed on this, that if you're volunteering, you need me to provide you the costume, me to get you a location, and you've never been here before, please show up at 5:30. We welcome walk-ons for volunteers. So if you just Saturday morning get up, have your coffee, have your breakfast, and you're like, geez, I want to go scare somebody tonight, just show up. And what you do is park at the venue, we got volunteer parking spots, tell the parking attendants you're a volunteer, and then go up onto the main deck and just wait for me there. There will be a person helping me this year for that area, so they'll be able to find you a costume, and then we'll just go out together and find you a spot. Be respectful for other people's spots. Don't go lingering around other people's scaring areas. There's a lot of people that have their areas year after year after year. So if you're a scarer, just try to limit your activity to the location that we're giving you. But overall, I think this is going to work for us this year. I'm hoping it flows better this year. I'm hoping that the level of respect from the community is better this year. I'm hoping that we can get the food shelf, the desperate food and revenue that they need to help manage the food crisis, the food crisis in America. I mean, it's, when, I don't want to get into politics here, but when SNAP benefits are reduced and funding to the food shelf themselves are reduced, then the greater need comes from people like me and my family. Greater need comes from you as a community to reach out and help these people. And, and people don't realize that a lot of the hungry in the nation are children. And, you got parents working 2 jobs, parents, working overtime. Maybe they're working 3 or 4 jobs. And it's really tough. It really is. And I felt years ago that as a community member in this community that I could help with that, then I'm going to help with that. And I think you as a community can help us that day with that. Bring your 12 non-perishable goods per person, or bring your $20 donation per person. And again, it's going to be cash only. We can't do the credit card thing this year. It didn't work out for us last year. So I thank you for watching my video and hope to see you on October 11th. Thank you.